Freedom Radio Hour. Live on Capital Radio 91.6 FM.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Freedom Radio Hour. I'm your host, DJ Adam Cruz, and I have my fantastic co-host
Eddie
here.
Nicholas, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome to Freedom Radio. We are sitting here and we are bringing you the heartbeat of beautiful Sudan. Boom, 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 boom. Top of the day to you, Adam. What
Top of the day
going on
to
in the
you.
music world?
We're here live and direct at 91.6 FM, just letting you know that not only this fantastic music that you're listening to, you need to listen to every week, but we're also bringing you that music business news and trends from around the globe. You're deep in the zone right now at the Freedom Radio Hour, and we have a lot of business news to cover for you. So first order of business, let me go back a little bit. Do you remember at the beginning of the streaming wars, which was before Tidal came to be, before Apple Music, there was mostly Spotify and Pandora. Remember that?
Yes.
And then what ended up happening is YouTube having their, they have over 1 billion users per month on YouTube.
I'm
so
one of them.
Me too. They're really, really one of the largest outfits that exist in terms of streaming media. Well, what ended up happening is YouTube last year, we talked about this before, YouTube launched Music Key. And what they were trying to do, since YouTube is owned by Google, and Google launched their Google Play, yet another service, they decided to merge and create Music Key. And at the time, they were saying, okay, for $8 a month, which chopped so Spotify's $10 a month down, they said you could get down with YouTube, search anything you want online, and if you want, you could download it, put it on your device or your computer, and you can have it later. So it's available offline. Obviously, it's all ad-free, so you don't have to sit through the advertisements. So that was really attractive, except for one major problem.
And what could that possibly be?
Well, because everybody was getting the material for free. If you go on YouTube today and you search, you can get everything, music videos, content for free just by searching, right? You may have to sit through an ad, but most of us don't care. We'll hit skip ad or we'll sit through the 15 seconds until the material starts to play. Well, Music Key was hoping that they could count of at least 10% of that 1 billion users per month to sign on to the service. Well, they didn't. What ended up happening was they had to reshuffle, because what ended up happening is evidently they didn't have everything together. What does that mean? They had the ability from your computer, you could sign up with Music Key and have things available online and off, but it wasn't a mobile. It wasn't available as a mobile device, as an app. Okay, that was their one problem. The second big problem that they encountered was that what you could search on YouTube wasn't necessarily available on Music Key. So like a little girl would search Frozen, and it wasn't available through the subscription service, because evidently the music that's available on YouTube wide wasn't all available using the Music Key. Why? Because they had to secure deals with these various labels before they could include it in the subscription service.
So that various label can get that cut of that $8.
Right. But if you didn't sign up, you were available on the wider YouTube network, but you weren't available through this Music Key. Well, when they launched, they realized that people weren't staying on with the service despite the cheaper rate of $8 a month. And it was mostly because there wasn't an app, a built-in dedicated app around the experience, but also because of what we were talking about. Sometimes music wasn't available in one way, but it was another. So they had to figure it out. So now, fast forward, because that was like 2013 to 2014 period. Now we're in 2015, and what they've done is they killed YouTube Music Key. Enter taps. Bom, bom, bom. They killed that. And now what they've done is they're just about to launch at the end of this month, YouTube Red.
As you see, you get silence from.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
What is YouTube Red different from YouTube Blue? Is it Twix left,
No.
Twix right?
No, what's the difference between YouTube Music Key and YouTube Red? Well, I looked at the differences and I had to holler. We're going to take a break. We're going to explain what the difference is between YouTube's Music Key and now YouTube Red, because evidently they don't even want you to say Music Key anymore because they killed that service. We're going to take a break and come back. We're going to talk about what YouTube is offering besides the general music and videos. We're also going to talk about what Wall Street analysts have to say about streaming music after their their exhaustive study. And this is the kind of information that you want to know, because this is where the real top dog players, I'm talking folks like venture capitalists, investors, and these companies right now, including one of the biggest premium services after Spotify, is called Deezer around the world. They were trying to become public. That's called an IPO, initial public offering. We'll come back and explain all of that right here on the Freedom Radio Hour. Where?
91.6 FM.
Freedom Radio Hour. Live on Capital Radio 91.6 FM.
What up, beautiful people, and welcome back to Freedom Radio 91.6 FM. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie Nicholas, and I'm sitting here with my wonderful co-host, Mr.
Adam Cruz, and you're live and direct. We're your #1 source for music business news and trends from around the globe. You're deep in the zone right here at the Freedom Radio Hour. Before we broke, we were talking about YouTube and their music key service. The brief history: they launched around 2013, trying to be the next Spotify, because YouTube does have over 1 billion unique users per month. So they were trying to capitalize on that by launching Music Key. What was it going to entail? Well, you paid $8 a month, and then you would have catalog available through the service online and off, so meaning you could download whatever you saw or heard and leave it on your computer. And then in addition, you had ad-free experience, so no longer you had to sit through the ads. Well, that was in 2014, and that really didn't kick off. Why? There were two big reasons. One was that YouTube, in offering Musical.ly, had to secure licenses with the certain labels before it included the music or the video in the subscription service. They weren't able to do it for everyone, so there was this distinction. If you searched YouTube overall, you could find, say, the song Frozen from the Disney movie, but you couldn't find it within the Music Key service because the deals weren't struck for both.
Okay.
So that became a big issue. So unfortunately, the subscriber base did not match their predictions or their hopes. They were hoping that they would get at least 10% of that 1 billion to sign up with the service, and that would have been a cute business, and that would have essentially changed the game, because YouTube really has the most unique visitors per month than anyone else, including Spotify and Pandora and Apple Music. So they killed Music Key around this time, and they've just announced this week that they are launching a new service called YouTube Red. So now, what does Red include? Well, they're saying you ready for this? You get the ad-free experience, right? It's $10 a month. They've managed to get 98% of the music I was telling you that was available in YouTube Wide, and then included in the service. So now they've essentially dealt with that big issue. It's available online and off, and you automatically get the pairing with Google Play, because don't forget that YouTube is owned by Google. So Google Play, which is like another Spotify, they merged with YouTube. The biggest other selling point is that they finally developed a dedicated app. So now within the app, for your $10 a month, you can go ahead and enjoy the material from your phone or from the computer. Do you notice a difference?
I'm going to be quite honest, because I never really paid attention
to either.
To either. You know, the only thing that I paid attention to Google was sometime when I tried to go into my YouTube account and I'm on another computer, I have to sign in through Google and all of that stuff to access it, but otherwise, I don't get music from there.
Well, here's the big thing. If you notice, between what I described Music Key was like before the break and now, there really isn't a big difference, other than this $2 difference, because when they launched initially as Music Key, they were $8 a month. Well, and now it's $10 a month.
Well, of course, because they made those deals with those record companies and those labels.
That's
so
right.
They still have to find a way to divvy all of that up.
That's right.
Now, mind you, I didn't hear you say near worried about how artists are going to get paid out of that deal.
Well, they're having big problems here, because now what they're trying to say is through the Red service that what they're willing to offer the artists is 55% of the net revenue. That means that they're taking 45%,
which is still too much.
So that's actually not a good deal at all. It's actually less favorable than the Spotify deal when you break it down evidently. We're going to look more into that math, but I wanted to tell you that there's a big problem happening for the good and for the bad. When I tell you the following, I'm going to ask you what you want to hear first, the good news or the bad news.
Or the bad.
Okay. So second to Spotify around the globe, forget the U.S. for now, is a company by the name of Deezer. They have millions and millions of subscribers, and they hadn't up until now planned to go public. That's meaning that
Okay, that means that's why I've never heard of them.
Well, they were trying to go public, and just so you're aware, even though you don't know of it, there's Eddie Nicholas material available on the Deezer service.
Oh,
yes,
I'm coming to check it out.
So Deezer being second to Spotify when you think the global market, they were hoping to launch their IPO, the initial public offering. What does that mean? And in basic terms, I'm not a Wall Street guy, but I can tell you that once you become public, you're now part of Wall Street and the stock market, and they can trade back and forth.
So, in other words, we need to find some money to go buy some shares.
Well, we were, we were hoping to do that by buying some shares of Deezer before they went public. Except they have to scrap the plans. Oh. And this has everything to do with a recent report in a study that was published by the National Bureau of Economic Research. And what Wall Street analysts, these are the big money makers. You're talking venture capitalists, analysts, investors. They look at the stock market and decide what
the major thieves.
Yeah,
the major thieves. Go ahead.
Well, they're trying to decide what they're going to invest in and not. And evidently, they have discovered something very important about the music industry that I want to explain to you. I think it's time for one more break. When we come back, I'm going to ask you what you want to hear first, the good news or the bad news. Where?
Capital Radio, 91.6 FM, Heartbeat of Sudan.
Freedom Radio Hour.
What up, beautiful people, and welcome back. My name is Eddie Nicholas, and we're glad that you have joined us on 91.6 FM, the Heartbeat of Sudan. I'm once again sitting back here with my friend, Mr. Adam Cruz, and he's going to dwell some more on a previous topic we were discussing.
Yes, you're in the zone right here at the Freedom Radio Hour. We're your number one source for music, business news, and trends from around the globe. So before we broke, we were talking about the differences between YouTube's Music Key and now their YouTube Red service, which essentially there isn't a big difference other than the $2 a month. But moving on, we were talking about the second biggest premium service out there for streaming music. That's called Deezer around the globe. They were hoping to go public. They wanted to be down with the stock market, and they had plans to do that. Well, they had to recently scrap their plans. There was a few reasons on the inside that they don't want to disclose, but one of the biggest things that came out recently that affected this decision was a study out of the National Bureau of Economic Research.
Okay.
And what they did was they really studied the downturn of digital download money meeting the upswing of streaming music income. Okay? And what they did was over the years decide what was happening with streaming music. Was there going to be this industry that they can predict will be growth? Because then they could go back to investors and say, you can invest in us. And it would also add some wings to the sails of a company like Deezer that was hoping to go public.
Okay.
Well, the study came out with the good and bad. What did you decide you want to hear first?
It doesn't matter, but let's start with the bad.
Okay, the bad news is that what the analysts have said is that there's zero growth in the music industry. What they're saying is that the music industry with companies like Spotify and others, they're not losing money, but they're not making money. They're at zero. Why is that bad? That's bad because when you think of the future of industries, you need to see positive growth. Obviously, negative growth you don't want, but you also don't want to be zero. Because now, when you're looking to future trends in music, remember we were talking in previous episodes about how happy these execs were at companies like Warner Music Group and the other, because they realized that for the first time, the streaming income surpassed the digital download income. But when they're doing the math, what they're saying that on the bad side, that it creates a zero growth situation. So that's not very appealing to a venture capitalist. So they're not really going to be investing in companies like a Deezer. So it's no surprise that Deezer, in realizing this trend, have scrapped their plans to become for their IPO. But further than that, the good side of this is the following. Remember I was telling you that as a utility, when streaming music came and the free music happened, that it really curtailed piracy.
Okay.
But we didn't have an official study that really spoke to the numbers. Okay. And this is really one of the first times we see the numbers, the eyes, if you will, of the math that we're thinking, which is what we always knew, that piracy, while it's killing in other ways the artist's money, it really helped to curtail digital piracy. It's not that it doesn't exist, but it's so marginalized that it's really a blip on the market now. Why? Because you have the YouTube's and the other services that have these freemium tiers where you could be free for a while and then pay into, or they have some other means to get you in there for free. So what is going to be the music of the music business now? Okay, this is what I've come to realize. Some of the recent articles are saying that YouTube, not only did they do this Red service, but they also are launching YouTube Kids. A full they're going to have original programming. So like you see with Amazon Prime, they launched that Transparent doc show, and that's won awards, and it's like an HBO now. And so now what YouTube is trying to do is the same thing. So they're launching YouTube Kids, which will have a lot of original programming geared toward family entertainment. But they're also going to launch, evidently, it's going to be the Kids channel. It's going to be in the wider. I have to look and see. There was
so you know what that sounds like to me? Cable networks, you better watch out. Yes. They're coming for you all next.
Yes, because now when you think about it, it's not just music and videos. Now the subscription service is going to allow you this content. I remember it was YouTube Kids, and they're also they're also getting into the gaming industry. Separately, Universal Music Group just bought a stake in a gaming company named New Day. And what they want to do is have the ability for you to play this game on an app, and it's free. You can get into the app for free, but in there it's called in-app purchases. And what they want you to do is buy the combo packs that have music, that have videos all in it, and it's part of the video game. So that's how they're trying to do it. When you look at the Jimmy Iovine's and saying they want to combine culture and utility, these are some of the things that you're talking about. When you buy the music, you'll get not just the music, all the photos, the digital booklet, the video game entry pass. You'll get the lifestyle. You'll get the club concert calendar. You'll get the entry into the newest party, all in one thing.
But you know, oh my God, I just see the dummy downing of our youth with, you know, with all this accessibility and apps for this and apps for that, but yet we're screaming we don't want them on these little contraptions but for so long. But you see all these companies virtually pushing all of this stuff at it, because in order to do it, you know, it's all about the travel, it's all about keeping the kid quiet in the car, it's all about having that easy access. So I understand the easy access, but in the access of it, we're also starting to kill
the personal engagement.
Yes. And all of that type of stuff. So, you know, even though I kind of threw that off topic, but
no,
you
but
know,
it's an important point.
It all comes into play.
I think so too. I think YouTube has admitted that one of their biggest business problems is that how do you get the free folks to jump into the pay?
You're not going to. You may get a few, but you're not. You know, when you look what happened to SoundCloud.
Well, look what happened to their own music key. They couldn't even launch their own service, which essentially is the same thing as this Red service. You know.
You know, I've been having this free for so many years, and now all of a sudden you want me to pay.
Right. But what they're saying, if you pay, you don't only get music videos, and you get games.
Who cares? Who cares?
Well, we're going to talk more about this, because whether you like it or not, that's going to be the future of music. It's going to be this combination of what you get for the package. It's not going to be just downloads or just streaming anymore. Think all encompassing, all together now, you know?
Oh, all together now. All together now. You know what? We're cutting up here, but we're so glad that you came and joined us. 91.6 FM Freedom Radio Hour. If you have any comments or questions in regards to any of the information that we've shared with you, please do share it. We'd love to give you some feedback, and we'd love to get feedback from you. So again, my name is Eddie Nicholas, and I guess we're going to close out now, but Adam's going to have the final word.
I just want to say that we want to pay attention. If you're a music enthusiast, a producer, an artist, a songwriter, please pay attention to shows like the Freedom Radio Hour. That what we're trying to do is clear the fog, get rid of the confusion that often exists within the industry. We're trying to let you know what happens with your music, what happens with your content, and how you're being compensated, reimbursed for that effort, right here on the Freedom Radio Hour. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out EddieNicholas.com, your boy DJ AdamCruz.com. We have new singles. One Time, I have my brand new Freedom LP with the Diamond Girls new single out. As well as the Josh Milan Black and Electronica EP. We have a lot more coming up. Stay tuned. Thanks for listening. Have a great week and a great weekend.
Peace out. 91.6 FM, the Heartbeat of Sudan.